Alrighty, so happy December. Sorry I've been missing through basically all of November. Sometimes I do that. I go up and down, in and out. I went inward for a while. So time went by really quickly though for me. It was about a month, but for me it could have been like 7 to 10 days went by. It was a weird month, very surreal. I wonder how your November was. But I'm looking forward to December. Okay, so I thought that we would do a pick a card reading. I haven't even determined what each pile will be about or looks like. Let's just dive into it. The groups will be determined by these stones. This is a citrine, yellow citrine. And this one is carnelian. This orange carnelian. So group 1 will be citrine and group 2 will be carnelian. Okay, so we'll start with group number 1, citrine. Okay, and so what will we use? I know. The portals. So I have this deck called Open Portals. It's like actually a game, but it's fun to use for tarot. Okay, so group number 1, citrine. We have the 5 of Hearts, which is the portal for the changing heart. This is where you are. The portal that you're existing in at this time is the portal for the changing heart. On the bottom of the deck is the portal for the small sun, which is the 8 of diamonds. The changing, oops, that's upside down. The changing heart and the small sun. It looks like something that you've been really committed to, or something that you, in a way, felt like really had your heart. At this point is something that you are transitioning away from, or giving less energy to, or feeling less attached or committed to in a way. There's something off in the distance, like an opportunity that you see. It's not giving you enough reassurance that it could be yours or that it would be successful. But whatever it is, for some reason, it is generating a lot of like magnetic energy. So you are in between this place where you're detaching from something that you spent some time feeling devoted to, and moving on to something, or even just the idea of something new or different that you see like over the horizon. It has like a magnetic pull on you. And it's like awakening something within you that wants to like go after it in a way. So group 1 Citrine would make a lot of sense because the yellow in general refers to not just happiness but optimism and courage, excitement, a sense of liberation from whatever was holding you back, confidence to go for it. Oh, wow. How strange. Okay. Okay. The Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. There's an offer that you have received and or have pursued to a point of success, like I said. But you are slowly like detaching from it or setting your sights upon something else that's been in the works or that you're working on or that you want to be working on instead. The transition between moving from this one thing to the next is proving a little difficult or tricky. Sorry. But more than anything, it's tricky because you're not sure exactly what the outcome will be, or if this is really where, like, your heart lies. It's more of an internal struggle that you're feeling as you make this transition or try to decide between these two things. But in 3D reality, it seems like it would, like theoretically or technically, it should be simple because you could just end one and enter the other. But you do have certain fears and or things that are holding you back from doing so. You don't want to fully leave the first thing for this new opportunity or even potential for what may also exist. Then we have the Five of Cups and the Nine of Swords. Which makes sense as to your hesitation and apprehension. It seems like there's some kind of a heartbreak that you faced or like a grave disappointment that exhausted you so much and drained you before and still has that effect on you sometimes today. But the more that you stay here in this place where you have felt committed for a while without wanting to be here so much anymore, the more it's going to feel painful. Actually, because it seems like there's something you really want to do, like you want to follow your heart and do this thing, then you're holding yourself back because of fear. Then we have the Star and the Magician. Aquarius, Gemini, Virgo. It's going to take some work, especially if this is like what you consider a leveling up or a new level or way of being or lifestyle. It is going to take some work on your part, and I think you also fear that level of work. So that's also something that you're struggling with or that's holding you back. But over and over again, you keep learning, the more that you go through it, that you have like so much stamina for this or whatever it is. There is a reason like your heart has run away with this new desire. It's not just like a fleeting passion. It's not just like the grass is greener on the other side kind of a thing. It looks like there's something here that you feel is calling to you, and so you should go for it. And the more that you do along the way and just take the steps to get there and meet it, whatever that light is that you see, the more you'll realize, A, how competent you already are at whatever it is it takes to get there. But you'll also like learn a lot of stuff really quickly, which will help you create this path more efficiently and get there more quickly and have more fun doing it and shine very bright even as you do it, and maybe even teach others to do the same. There is something really important about this thing that you see over the horizon that you want to just jump toward or dive into the ocean that separates you from that thing and just start swimming to get there, whatever it takes. Something about you really wants to do this, and it feels like you should, is a confirmation here. It's such a celebratory energy if you did. There are a lot of things that you have already worked on, and that's kind of the trick that you're not seeing here, like a trick of the light or an optical illusion in a way. The thing that you feel devoted to right now and committed to is not something that you have to completely sever yourself off from and move away from. Everything that you have built here concerning this thing, it could still be a part of you, or you can come back to it at another point to continue it if you want to, and or it's something that you can continue working on as you pursue this new thing. So you don't need to worry about making the decision and making the leap even from one thing to another. You don't have to worry about that. You can put one thing on hiatus to go for whatever this is that's calling you. And if you did, it would like give you a greater sense of like independence and self-reliance somehow. It would make a great change. What is that? So clarify the portal for the small sun. Oops. That was weird. The King of Cups was already upside down. King of Cups, Ace of Cups, King of Pentacles, Chariot, Two of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Sun. Okay, that's crazy. A lot of water. So you're planning to make some kind of a big move, which feels like a really big leap or a great change in direction. There's one thing that is really practical, it feels like, that makes you feel really stable and like you have a sense of security. But there's another thing that has your heart that calls to you like a passion. So you feel a little bit torn by these two things. For many of you, this is like a relationship situation. There are two kind of energies here described as the kings, the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles. This may be a relationship or a counterpart or a version of yourself in a relationship. Or these may represent the two versions of you that you're having a hard time like almost consolidating or finding the balance between or making a transition from. For others of you, it's work, or having to do with something in your daily routine that allows you to take care of yourself and sustain for yourself. You've been having a hard time maintaining a balance or a sense of independence on the daily. You feel like you need to be working more, but that's not what your heart wants to do. Your heart wants to be working more on something that's not as lucrative as this other thing, so it's created a conflict. So this is where you are right now. This is the energy that you're in. Citrine is requiring a lot of your strength, especially with all of the yellow on these cards. A lot of your strength and your courage and optimism as you feel like you're shifting from one energy to another. Either one that is more practical to one that is more like allows you to follow your heart more openly and freely, or vice versa. But from one to the other, a shift is being made on your part. And it looks like a really promising one. If there are any doubts or fears that you have, it looks like the cards are saying you shouldn't. This is going to be great for you. It's going to affect your inner reality and your outer physical reality in a really wonderful way. And you're going to see that it's not so much that you have to make a decision between any two of these things. You just needed to find a way to focus more of your energy on this new thing. And that's all. You could maintain this initial whatever you're working on or invested in here, or you can take a hiatus from it, but you're not going to lose anything by going for this, whatever it is. Anything else? Queen of Wands. Four of Swords, Ten of Swords, the Lovers. Okay. So in a lot of ways you feel like this is a question of like what's practical versus what's like emotionally fulfilling, and which one you should take on and which energy you should embody more moving forward. It looks like in a lot of ways something that might help you or that might be useful advice is that it doesn't necessarily have to be either one of those things. It can just be seeing it as like a part of your passion and your spirit that you follow. It's not necessarily an emotional thing that you need to get into or follow or chase or assume. And it's not necessarily a practical thing either. It's kind of just a fusion of both that allows you to say in each moment that I'm sincerely grateful for where I am and what I'm doing and where I'm going. I know I have everything that it takes to do whatever it is, whether it's this that I've been doing for years or that new thing that I want to start pursuing. It's not about whether or not it's going to serve me on a practical level or make me happy. This is about the fact that it's because I can do it, so it would be fun and I know it. So I'm going to go ahead and go for it because I know that the outcome will be great. And if it's not, then I don't have to worry because I have to remember that I'm not cutting off or leaving anything in the past behind. I can resume that if I want to. The reason I'm doing this is not for any other reason other than like I can. And it would be a great experience and journey for me. Once you assume that mentality, it's actually going to be a lot easier for you to move forward. A lot of mental exhaustion is arising because you're neglecting this energy instead of using that to your advantage. Anytime your mind gets heavy with thoughts or fears when you're about to move forward and make that transition or do that new thing, let your spirit take over and let it remind you of why it is you're doing this and that it's not supposed to be draining. And if it is, it's because you're doing it wrong. It's supposed to be energizing. Remember that. This is supposed to be for fun. You don't need to do this. It would just be an incredible experience and it would be really like something that moved you and changed you if you did. So remember that and go with the flow of it. Use your spirit, your fire, your passion, your excitement. Don't worry about the hard decisions you have to make and things like that. Everything at your own pace as you do this, but you're about to do something really incredible that's going to bring a lot of like sunlight into your life and allow you to radiate so much sunshine outward to people. And you feel this, you know it, that's why your heart's going for it. So it seems like those are the portals that you're in right now. Group 1. And now we're going to move on to group number 2. Okay, and so for group number 2, we'll use something different. Rather than the portals, put it back and away. Okay. Okay. So, group number 2, you chose the Carnelian stone. And so we're going to use the elemental oracle to see what's going on. With pile 1, we looked at what portal they're in. Or you're in if you came from there. With group 2, we're looking at the elements of nature as they describe your energy. Okay. Wow. All right. That's a lot. So we have number 7, darkness, the moon. And then we have number 16, clarity, mountain. And 16 also comes down to 7. So that's interesting. And then we have number 6, light, the sun. And then on the bottom of the deck we have number 29, creation, water, and snow. Okay. Darkness, clarity, light. Moon, mountain, sun. Wow, that's pretty crazy, that contrast. 776. There's nothing but white between them. Wow. What a peaceful and calming energy. Group 2. Justice on the bottom of the deck. Balance. Okay, big time. Wow. So it seems like you've been in a place of like not isolation but solace and peace and comfort or quiet or privacy in some way. There's something like really fair about the time that you have right now or are coming into that's going to give you like a period of rest or alone time that was much needed, or maybe you're in that period right now. and it's allowing you to like detox a lot of stuff from like maybe spending way too much time around people and being around their energy and absorbing kind of what they've been going through and all of that. But too many different groups of people, too many times a day or week, or even just with social media, like spending too much time ingesting a lot of different content and things and ideas. So it seems like right now where you are or what's coming toward you is such a period of like tuning everything out and finding a lot of peace within and in your environment where you are, to the point where it clears away a lot of excess leftover stuff that's not part of you, and it brings you back to a state of being where it's just you and yourself and there's no wall between you. So there's a lot of clarity and self-awareness, a lot of peace, even if things around you aren't so peaceful and there are things that are hectic in your life or in your routine right now. You have found a way to like separate yourself and your inner world from it. And not just that, but continue creating from this place of like solitude or peace of mind somehow. Wow. Sorry, I'm very dehydrated. So I think that you spent a lot of time in what felt like the dark, in a good and in a bad way. In a good way, as in like you got to have privacy and time to yourself to understand you and your thoughts better and see like the outer picture of reality from a distant observer's point of view that allowed you to assess everything better. So that level of darkness was good, but it also, I think, represents a period of darkness where you didn't have truth or clarity. You felt like there might have been a blindfold over you. It kept you from moving forward because it kept you from seeing the path ahead. So that was a big era that you were in for a while. There was peace because there was like either privacy or stillness of some sort, but there was a lot of confusion. It felt like maybe like a void of knowledge and information that really belonged to you, that you were missing, maybe kept from you, or that you just weren't able to see but left in the dark. And during this time, you came into such a state of peace about the darkness. Whatever it was you knew you weren't able to see clearly or get an answer to, that was a visible mystery hanging above you. You found a way to just live with it. Like your roommate was mystery itself. You just found a way to live with it and be really comfortable with the unknown. Didn't really bother you or trip you up, or it doesn't anymore. But that's because during this phase of darkness, living with your roommate mystery, you went inward and, as I said, tapped into something like so much clarity, self-awareness, and understanding of what matters most, especially your own values and yourself, that it made it so that you knew more than enough in each given moment that was necessary, because the most important thing is that you know yourself, know thyself, and trust thyself. You've mastered that. So whatever form of darkness there ever is now and moving forward, it's not going to be something that ever feels like a struggle or a void anymore, because you found a way to kind of sit with what it is you do know and learn about what it is you can learn about in a way that has brought you so much peace in this moment and moving forward. So that's why we have the moon as the first card and the sun as the last card that came out, because it's almost like this was the key that you needed to unlock everything you needed as far as truth and knowledge and awareness and light is required. All you needed, the key that you needed, was your own inner knowing, your own sense of peace with whatever you don't know, never mind it, and focus on what it is that you do know, especially when it comes to yourself and your capabilities and your strengths. In doing this more and more, and in sitting in this place of peace and knowing for so long as you have, there's so much light that's being poured in from your reality, because as you've learned, everything in your reality is just reflecting you and your level of awareness of your own self in each moment. And it's crazy because in all of this stillness and this snow, there is water and the word creation. So whatever it is that you're doing, even that may seem as still as being asleep even during this time on an energetic level, is creating so much. Not just in the light that's pouring in and all the answers that you are getting for all the things that you once wondered about but no longer give a shit what the answer is anymore because you moved on. All of those answers are coming toward you for one, and that's going to be really gratifying. You're creating these weird channels and pathways for those things to just spill in. But you're also creating a life that reflects this truth that you've learned about yourself moving forward, so that it's attracting everything that aligns with that. Ooh. Oh. Stillness. I saw that. The Nine of Wands. Oh! And the Page of Wands and her army flopped out, as you heard. Nine of Wands. Page of Wands, Temperance, the Tower, Queen of Swords, Nine of Swords, the High Priestess, Five of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. A lot of those are the same cards from group number 1, so that makes me feel like a lot of you are here from group number 1. If so, that's awesome. And I see you. But either way, those of you here for group number 2, regardless of if you were there for the first round, you have been in a place of stillness for so long, or for a little while now, it looks like, and you have created a sense of peace here as I described. But more and more as the light pours in and you learn more and more about the past mysteries and anything in the future that may be a mystery that's no longer going to be holding you back anymore, the more the path is opening up for you, and you can see it and you can feel it, and you understand that it's time to move on and move forward. So I think the snow represents that energy that is almost synonymous with winter time, which is stillness and sleep, and even kind of sitting in the ending of something before a new begins. And now a new is beginning and you feel it, It's like you can hear that springtime has ushered its call, but something about that is bothering you. Because you have found a sense of peace here, and you do like it. And you do feel like you're being called to use all of this information that you're getting in this light and the way that it's shedding on your path to show like more and more clearly what it is you are going to be walking, and how it's like unavoidable, and you know it, and you got to start doing it. Only for you, only because you want to, only because it's what's going to bring you more happiness and joy. And every now and again, you do have these fears of mystery that do pop up. So, like, just because you befriended mystery and lived with her for so many years, doesn't mean that she still doesn't, like, trip you up or kind of trigger you on your path. So you do fear moving forward that there will be more mysteries that you won't immediately get the answer to. But something that you're not factoring in, that I'm being called to tell you, is that your intuition right now, moving forward, is like so much more elevated and has well surpassed what it was even just a year ago, what it was 2 years ago, don't even talk about 5 years ago. Who you are right now and moving forward is somebody with a way more heightened awareness and intuition. So the level of mystery that you think you may be encountering is like a total like overstatement actually for what it is. Anything that looks like it's blanketed by darkness, or that you can't see the outcome, or that freaks you out because you don't know the answer, or that seems new or unfamiliar, don't worry about it. Because remember that you found a way, you found the key to unlocking your way through all of those perceived paths of darkness. You go inward and you take the time to like breathe in your own self and understand and remember and come back to your base of who you are. And in remembering yourself and knowing yourself so well and your value system, anything that comes up as a painful question or decision, you can figure your way through it and meditate what is the proper way and what is the proper answer moving forward in a way that you weren't able to do before. You spend so much time inward that you don't realize how much you've grown and how like incredible and well versed you've become at finding your way through the darkness. There is a reason you're going from moon directly to sun. It's because whatever you faced in the past that made you feel like it threw you off balance because it was such a mystery or so confusing, or something was held from you that you didn't have an answer to, or things worked out in a way that shocked you because you couldn't foresee how they came. It won't be a thing in the future moving forward. You have to remember that, because that was then and it reflected who you were back then. Who you are now is not the same person. Who you are now is being reflected by light, the sun. Card number 6, success, awareness, enlightenment, knowledge. So much more than you had before. Tools in your arsenal. You're ready, you're beyond ready, and you know it and you feel it, and that's where you are right now. That's why Carnelian does make sense, especially with creation, water, because this orange color in general represents creativity and like spontaneity and something that's really fun and healing and creative. It represents sexual, divine feminine, healing, and energy. Looks just like kind of the sun at sunrise or sunset. Represents a light that marks a beginning and or an ending. You have so much more than you realize moving forward. And the more that you move forward, the more that it's going to come toward you. So, you're in a great energy and on a great path. But whatever darkness And you can always go back to the darkness when you want your peace and your privacy. That's always going to be available to you, so don't worry about that. But there's nothing about the darkness that's ever going to plague you again as it did before. You're a different person now. You have a high priestess energy now. You've seen so much and experienced such a broad spectrum of things now that you just know so much more than you ever did before, even just a year ago. So anything else here? Where are you going? Why is this so monumental? Where are you headed after this phase of such peace? I saw these two. The Four of Cups and the Hermit. And the Wheel of Fortune. Where are you going after this is you are changing, like I said, with the seasons or like the seasons. You spend a lot of time in hermit mode, as I've said, and you've learned a lot during that time, but you've grown a little bit like restless. There is something about the snow around you that is like melting and thawing out, and you feel it. So where you're going is to a place that's a little bit more social, only because you want it to be, not like there's anything wrong with being a hermit or introvert. That's not really how you feel. But you are excited about sharing something about yourself and what you've uncovered with groups of people. And that's where you're headed. And in doing so, it's going to be either like really lucrative, because maybe that's like a career or something that you'll tap into. And if not, just incredibly beneficial to you in a way that's like energetically prosperous. You're going also into a place of learning things at a much faster rate than you ever did before. Like I said, yeah. Something about the darkness will never feel so dark as it ever did before. There's something about the way that you can go inward and remember who it is that you are in a moment where you feel lost or concerned or confused or downtrodden or heartbroken even. There's no veil of darkness that is thick enough to keep you down moving forward, because you have found such a level of inner peace that I can't even describe. But I can feel, and I felt it from the first moment your cards came out, like it's so peaceful and grounded where you are. And whatever movement that you are creating to move forward, just remember and be reassured that this is like one of the most grounded, productive, and like potentially lucrative energies I've ever seen. A lot of work has been done by you on so many levels, and this is the energy that you're in according to the elements. The sun and the moon came up. That's really special. Okay, so I think that'll do. Thank you.